Hi, everyone. My name is Yanez-Correa, and I just want to say how grateful I am to be here. I've learned so much. All of the presenters have been wonderful. And as Jim Bethke was saying, what I'm about to present, you are the first audience. No one else has seen this. These are the preliminary findings of a joint project that we've had by the Task Force of Indigent Defense, the Office of the Court Administrators, and ourselves, the Texas Criminal Justice Coalition. And let me just kind of give you a little bit of background of why this survey even happened to begin with. As you all know, last session, Texas was sort of like on this crossroads, to build or not to build. More prisons, or diversion programs. So through the leadership and the commitment, a bipartisan historical commitment in my eyes. I've never seen people in both parties work so well like they did last session on this. We decided to take somewhat of what people might have thought us as a risk and take the road of, instead of containing the problem, meaning building the prisons to contain the problem, to focus on strategies that would increase public safety, save taxpayers' money, basically smart on crime pieces of legislation that happened. So as a result, money was invested. And And so as a result, money was invested, and this money, this investment was meant to basically do away with the need to go to the path of just containing the problem. And so the legislature appropriated millions of dollars for diversion programs, community supervision, parole, and so forth. And people wanted to know whether or not it worked. Has it worked? And obviously it's been too soon, but not necessarily, because how many prisons have you seen being built? No, they haven't. So it's actually saved the state a lot of money, and thank goodness, because I don't know if you're familiar with the lockdown that just happened in the TDCJ, and the fact that there's not enough prison guards to, there's a prison guard shortage. So imagine more prisons, no prison guards. So good path that the legislature took. We're happy about that. But in the process, during the interim, there were several committees that started so that we could evaluate whether or not these strategies are actually working. And in one of these hearings that the coalition was providing public testimony on substance abuse, and Judge Keller was providing testimony on her work on mental illness on the task force, something that Representative Turner said brought a lot of interest, and that was, what do judges think about this? Under what circumstances would judges feel comfortable diverting people with mental illness or substance abuse problems? And what do they need, basically? What do judges need to untie their hands so that they can actually feel comfortable enough to place people with mental illness and substance abuse away from, to diversions instead of the containment? So, my dear friend Jim Bethke and myself, we were both in this hearing. We both looked at each other. We're like, that's a great question, so let's do a survey. And this survey basically was like a 3-month process that has been grueling, and it has been very wonderful. And it has basically been a very worthwhile process. Carl, I don't know if it's Carl here, but he gave us a list of all the judges in Texas, and we sent out a survey. And basically, we surveyed approximately 900, we sent it out to 900 judges, and the result was quite amazing. There were 244 responded. And the results, the preliminary findings are in this document right here. The letter that was sent out by Judge Keller is in your package, and so are the survey questions. And I know we're sort of running out of time. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, so basically, some of the key findings is that we didn't realize how opinionated judges were. So we really thought that the responses were going to be, it was going to be a done deal. It was going to be in a week. We had assumed that we were just going to take all of the findings and and a couple of months later, we realized that we had 222 pages worth of free responses, which will be up on both of our websites after this, because we didn't change any responses. We included everything that they had to say. And there was a lot of good feedback from judges. And so one of the things that we learned from the survey is that judges are eager and they want to be able to say, this is what we need. This is what we feel about substance abuse. This is what we feel about mental health. And bottom line, the message that was said is we need to have resources so that we can actually better handle cases of this sort. So let's see. When there were any type of, most judges, I'm not going to go through every single one of these findings because you have it right here. But basically, most judges don't learn about mental illness or substance abuse issues until arraignment or trial. I don't know if, does that sound surprising to you? I don't know. No? I see some, not surprising. Approximately 5% learn of substance abuse issues and at arrest or booking, while more than 9% learn about post-conviction. Less than 1% of judges learn about mental illness issues at the charging stages. So what we were trying to get at here is when do you learn about, when do they actually identify when a person before them has a mental illness problem or a substance abuse problem? A significant number of judges indicated that notification or discovery of these issues varies, and the data suggests that judges are not adequately notified of possible mental health issues within 72 hours or intake or booking requirements. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but basically what we actually found was that judges, a lot of them, there's no real, there's so many different jurisdictions, there's so many different judges, there's so many different ways of dealing with things, there's no real uniformity, and that's one of the things that we found. Surprise, surprise. There's no real uniformity. Almost 36% of the judges use treatment services, 48% use treatment services in mental health, almost 9% of the judges have few or no options, and what was really noticeable is that there were very few resources for misdemeanor cases. Judges felt like there was like absolutely nothing that, for misdemeanor cases, and that's very problematic. When considering co-occurring mental illness and substance abuse issues, judges indicated the need for integrated treatment, and this is key. Integrated treatment shown in, because it's evidence-based, and they needed more of that. 41% of the judges have only substance abuse treatment, only mental health treatment, or no options at all. So again, these are judges saying, we don't have any options. How are we going to handle people with substance abuse? How are we going to handle people with mental illness?